the quiet nerve controlling your burnout, and how to soothe it.
I never really understood why. Well, you know that feeling when you get a weird or scary text message out of the blue?
Oh, yeah, like a sudden bad news kind of text.
Yeah, exactly. And your stomach just completely drops, like an actual physical pulling feeling in your gut.
Right. It ties into absolute knots.
Yes. And I always wondered, like, why is my stomach getting involved with my phone? I mean, it is just a text message, right?
It feels super weird when you actually stop and think about it.
It really does. Or, on the flip side, why taking one long, slow breath can make your racing mind feel quiet almost right away. We just live with these feelings every single day, and I always sort of treated them like completely separate things.
Like they are just random events.
Right. Like, oh, I have an upset stomach today, or, oh, my mind is just racing tonight. Two different problems.
But they really aren't, are they?
No. And that is the central mystery that I really wanted us to talk about today. What if those things are not separate at all? What if there is just this one massive nerve running through your entire body, just this quiet thing acting as a master switch for how you feel?
I love talking about this so much because once you learn about this nerve, it is like finding a secret basement level to your own body. You finally see why everything is connected.
And if you are listening to this right now, I bet you have felt this connection without having a name for it.
Yeah.
Today, we are just going to look deeply at what is called the vagus nerve.
The wandering nerve.
The wandering nerve, yes.
Yes.
We want to gently unpack how this invisible system shapes your mood, your gut health, and that deep, heavy burnout we all feel sometimes.
Yeah.
And we just want to look at the really simple, gentle ways you can actually soothe it.
Which is such a massive shift in how we view the body. For so long, people just assumed that your heart rhythm or your digestion were totally out of your control. Like they're just on autopilot.
Right, like you just get what you get.
Yeah.
But to really figure out how to work with this system, we should probably talk about where this nerve even is.
Hmm.
Because when I hear the word nerve, I usually just picture like a tiny wire in my tooth that hurts when I eat ice cream.
Right, right. A tiny little pain wire.
Exactly. But this is completely different, isn't it?
Oh, it is huge. It is the absolute longest nerve in that automatic part of your nervous system. The word vagus actually comes from Latin, and it just means wandering.
Which is such a perfect name for it.
It really is, because of how it moves. It starts right at the base of your brain, at the very back of your neck.
Okay, so right at the top.
Yeah, and from there, it just wanders down. It goes through your neck, down into your chest, and then deep, deep into your belly.
Wait, it goes all the way down to the stomach.
All the way down. And as it travels, it reaches out and literally touches your heart, your lungs, your liver, your kidneys, and your entire gut.
That is wild. It sounds like a massive superhighway connecting the brain to every organ that keeps us alive.
That is exactly what it is. And it is the main driver of your calming system. You know how we always hear about the fight or flight mode?
You have a stress response.
Right.
Yeah.
Think of that stress system as the gas pedal in a car. It makes you go fast. Well, this wandering nerve is the brakes. It is the built-in system that slows your heart down and turns your digestion back on after a stressful moment has passed.
But see, I always just kind of thought my brain was running the whole show. Like the brain sits up there, makes all the choices, and shouts orders down to the body.
That is what most of us were taught, the whole top-down idea. Even the medical world thought that for a long time.
But it is actually backward, right?
Mostly backward, yes. This is the really mind-blowing part. About 80% of the fibers in this nerve are actually carrying messages from the body up to the brain.
Wait, really? 80% goes up?
Yes. Your gut, your heart, your lungs, they are all constantly checking how you feel physically, and they send those signals up to tell the brain what is going on.
So, if my gut is like a second brain, and this nerve is the cable between them, gut feelings are not just a poetic saying.
Not at all.
They are literal messages traveling from my stomach up to my head.
That is exactly it. When your gut feels off or your heart races, your body sends a distress signal up that cable. Your brain gets the signal and changes your mood to match it.
Oh, wow.
It makes you feel anxious in your mind because your body is telling it there's a fire in the basement. This chatting back and forth is why we talk about having a healthy nerve tone.
Like muscle tone, but for a nerve.
Exactly. When the tone is strong, you feel a baseline of calm. Your digestion is smooth, inflammation is low, and you bounce back from stress easily.
But when that tone is worn out.
Yeah. When it is low, the brakes are just gone. You end up with chronic burnout, bad gut health, and you age faster.
Which feels like what everyone is dealing with right now. If someone listening feels exhausted all the time, but then super wired at midnight when they want to sleep, is that the worn out brake system.
Oh, absolutely. That wired and tired feeling is classic. To really get why we feel that specific kind of burnout, we have to look at the three states our nervous system can be in.
Let's break those down because this helped me so much when I first learned about it.
Me too. Okay, so the first state is the safe zone. You feel calm, alert, and grounded. Your heart beats in a nice, flexible rhythm, and your breath is deep.
This is when you can actually relax and heal, right?
Yes. The body only repairs itself in this safe state. But then, say you are at work, and the pressure is just huge. You drop into the second state, which is the stress state, fight or flight.
Right. Your muscles get tight, heart speeds up,
And your digestion stops completely because your body thinks you need to run away from a bear.
which is helpful if a car swerves into your lane. You need that quick jolt.
For sure. You need it
Yeah.
to survive short-term danger. The problem is modern life. We push through work pressure, we skip lunch, we run on coffee and willpower.
Oh, the coffee and willpower diet. I know it too well.
We all do. But you can't punch a work deadline, and you can't run away from a mortgage payment.
No, you just have to sit there at your desk.
Exactly. So the stress system gets overloaded. And when it gets too much, you drop into the third state, the frozen state.
The shutdown.
Yeah, complete shutdown. You feel numb, disconnected, and just so heavy.
I think so many people listening know that exact heavy feeling. And the really sad part is that when we lose our healthy nerve tone, we kind of lose access to that first safe, calm state.
We do. We just bounce back and forth between stressed and frozen all day long.
Wake up frozen, drink 3 coffees to get stressed, crash and freeze again at night.
It is a brutal cycle, and we never spend any real time in that healing safe zone. The toll this takes on the physical body over the years is just massive.
It really is. Like when you look at how heart rhythms change over time, the healthier the nerve, the more flexible the heart rhythm is.
Right. It adapts easily to whatever you are doing.
But when we stay stressed, that rhythm gets rigid. And having a rigid heart rhythm is linked to aging so much faster. It is honestly linked to just about every health struggle you can imagine.
Because the body is stuck thinking it is in a war zone, and chronic daily stress physically damages that nerve over time. So because the nerve is damaged, you are less resilient for tomorrow's stress.
It is a downward spiral, which brings up something I really want to talk about. But because we have this culture where if you are feeling burnt out, your family might not really get it.
Oh, totally. They just say, take a deep breath or just relax.
Right. Just think positive. Like, mental health is just a choice. We treat stress like it is a personal failure. Like if you were just mentally stronger, you wouldn't feel burnt out.
It is so unfair and so biologically wrong.
Because you cannot just logic your way out of a body threat.
You really can't. The nervous system runs way below your conscious thoughts. When your body is in that stress or frozen state, the older survival parts of your brain are running the show.
You cannot just tell a blaring fire alarm to stop ringing by thinking happy thoughts about the building.
I love that.
Ugh.
No, you can't. You have to actually use physical habits to send a safety signal up to the brain. You have to change what the body is doing to change how the mind feels.
And we often wait so long to do this. We only go to the doctor when it is an absolute emergency, when the nerve is totally fried.
We push and push until something breaks.
But I noticed in my own life, and you see this with so many people who work crazy hours, you don't need a medical emergency to start fixing it. You
Yeah.
can literally just walk and breathe.
Exactly. Movement and breath.
Just a 20-minute walk and some deep breathing can lower your inflammation so much. And it makes me wonder, if moving our lungs and legs sends safety signals, what about the food we eat?
Oh, food is huge.
Because we are putting food in our bodies every single day. Are we sending signals up that nerve every time we eat?
Every single time. We talked about how 80% of the nerve goes up. Well, this nerve is the literal physical highway between your head and your gut.
The gut-brain highway.
Yes. The little bacteria in your gut health system actually create chemical signals, and those signals interact right with the nerve endings in your stomach.
So the actual food we chew and swallow decides what messages get sent up to the brain.
It dictates the whole conversation.
Okay, let's talk about what foods send that safe, calm signal. Because I think we all want more of that.
For sure. The biggest one is fermented foods.
Like yogurt and kimchi.
Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, all of those. They feed the good gut bugs, and when those bugs are happy, they make these little fatty acids that physically bind to the nerve and send a calming wave upward.
Oh, I love that. A calming wave. What else?
Fish oil or omega-3s like salmon or walnuts.
How does that help the nerve?
It is structural. It actually helps build the walls of the nerve tissue itself, which lowers inflammation right at the source. It cools down the cortisol stress response.
That makes total sense. And then there are things like dark berries, right? Blueberries and stuff like that.
Yeah, they protect the soft lining of the gut, which keeps the whole talking channel secure.
Okay, and I have to ask about dark leafy greens. Because everyone talks about magnesium right now. How does a bowl of spinach actually make me feel calmer?
Magnesium is like a gentle bouncer at the door of your brain.
It's a bouncer. I like that.
Yeah, it physically blocks the little receptors in your brain that grab onto stress chemicals. By blocking the stress signals, it gives your body a chance to shift smoothly into the rest and digest state.
Wow. Okay, so that is the good stuff. But we also have to look at what we're doing to cause the static on the line.
The interference.
Because we're all guilty of it. Eating late at night or grabbing ultra-processed snacks when we are busy.
And ignoring those body signals that say we are full or tired.
Right. When we eat highly processed stuff or way too much sugar, it disrupts that soft gut lining, doesn't it?
It completely throws the gut bugs out of balance. The bad bugs take over and they start sending distress signals.
So if my gut and brain are chatting on the phone, eating a ton of sugar basically creates loud static on the line.
Loud, scary static. And the brain cannot hear the gut clearly, so it panics. It assumes we are in terrible danger just because of the information.
So the food we eat directly decides if our body sounds the alarm or waves the green flag.
Exactly, which is why diet is so deeply tied to mental health. You cannot separate them.
Okay, so eating yogurt and salmon is clearly a long-term goal for a happy nerve. But, and I think we've all been here, let's say it's Tuesday afternoon.
The worst time of the week.
Right. Your heart is racing, you are stuck in that fight-or-flight stress state, and you cannot exactly pull out a jar of sauerkraut in the middle of a meeting.
No, probably not a good look.
What are the immediate, right-now habits we can use to manually hit the brakes?
This is the best part. Your body has these free manual override switches built right in, and the most powerful one is just your breath.
Just breathing.
But a specific kind, belly breathing, where your exhale is twice as long as your inhale. Like breathing in for 4 seconds and blowing it out slowly for 8 seconds.
How does moving air actually touch a nerve in my stomach, though?
It is pure physical touch.
Right.
The wandering nerve runs right next to your belly muscle, the one that pulls your lungs open.
The diaphragm.
Yes. When you take a huge belly breath, that muscle pushes down and physically massages the nerve.
Oh, wow. It gives it a massage.
Literally.
Oh.
And when you let the air out really slowly for 8 seconds, that slow release forces the calming brakes to engage. You can feel it happen in real time.
I have actually tried that when I was feeling totally overwhelmed, and it is almost spooky how well it works.
Just a few minutes of it can shift your whole day.
What about cold water? I see people online splashing ice water on their faces when they are stressed. Is that connected to the gut somehow?
It is connected to the same nerve. It uses this old, ancient body trick called the dive reflex.
Like diving into a pool.
Exactly. When freezing water hits your face, your body thinks you are diving into a cold ocean. It automatically triggers the nerve to slow your heart rate down to save oxygen.
So it forces you to calm down.
It forces a massive calming spike. It is a total system reset.
That is amazing. Okay, but I have to ask about some of the weirder things I have heard about. Because I was reading about vocal cords. Like, people say you can heal your burnout by humming or gargling water.
I know, it sounds totally made up.
It sounds like pure internet nonsense.
It really does until you look at how the nerve is routed. A little branch of this nerve actually wraps right around your vocal cords and the back of your throat.
Wait, it wraps around the throat.
Yes. So when you make a loud, deep noise,
You are vibrating the nerve.
you are physically shaking it.
Yeah.
Gargling water really hard, humming, chanting, or even just singing your heart out in the car.
So singing in the car is actually good for my mental health.
It is amazing for it. The deep vibration massages those nerve endings, which shoots a fast safety signal up to the brain. It is why ancient traditions have used chanting for thousands of years. They knew it brought peace long before we had scanners to prove it.
That is so wild. I am definitely singing louder on my drive home now.
You really should.
There is another piece of this too. Community and human connection.
Oh, this is so vital. When you have real face-to-face time with someone you trust, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding chemical.
Right, the love hormone.
And that chemical directly turns on the safe and calm state. Real friendship is not just nice, it is an actual physical need for a balanced nervous system.
which makes total sense why we feel so drained when we isolate ourselves. But what about the opposite of human connection, like staring at our phones?
The screens, yeah.
I know so many of us, myself included, will lie in bed staring at our phones until our eyes cross.
Guilt scrolling.
Yes. And then we wonder why we can't sleep. How does screen time affect the nerve tone?
It is the bright blue light. When you stare at a screen right before bed, the light tricks your brain into thinking the sun is still up. It traps your body in that alert daytime stress state when you should be fading into rest.
So it blocks the calming breaks from engaging.
Totally blocks them. Turning off screens an hour before bed is one of the easiest ways to let the nerve do its healing work overnight.
And it is so hard to do because we feel guilty when we finally stop working. You know that feeling. When you finally sit on the couch, but your brain is screaming that you should be doing laundry.
Oh, the resting guilt. It is awful.
You can't even enjoy the rest. You are physically sitting down, but your nerve is still stuck in fight or flight.
Because society tells us our worth is based on how much we do. But resting is literally when the cellular repair happens. It is not being lazy. It is letting your body survive.
I think just knowing that makes it easier to let go of the guilt.
Yeah.
When you layer all these little habits together, the breathing, the singing, the morning yogurt, turning the phone off, it seems like they would add up to something huge.
They do. It is like building a whole new routine for your nervous system. In just a few weeks of doing these gentle things, you can actually feel your resilience come back. The gut issues fade, the sleep gets deeper, just because the body finally feels safe again.
And you don't need a fancy clinic or expensive treatments to do any of this.
Not at all. The tools are totally free and built right into your chest and throat.
So, if you are listening to this right now, I think the biggest takeaway is just a gentle reframing of how you see yourself. Health is not a place you just magically arrive at. It is a direction you choose, bit by bit.
It is the small daily choices.
Exactly. It is taking one slow breath when an email stresses you out. It is eating a little fermented food with your lunch. It is giving yourself permission to just sit on the couch without guilt.
And we live in a time where we can actually see this happening. If you have a watch that tracks your heart rhythm, you can watch your body get stronger. You can prove to yourself that you are not broken.
I love that.
Yeah.
You are not breaking. We have covered so much today, from the sheer size of this wandering nerve to the gut-brain highway to the weirdly wonderful power of humming in your car.
It has been such a good chat.
But I want to leave everyone with one final thought to gently mull over today. If 80% of this nerve's messages travel from the body up to the brain, maybe we have been living our lives completely backward.
Oh, that is so true.
Instead of endlessly trying to use our minds to talk our bodies out of feeling stressed, maybe it's finally time we start using our bodies to convince our minds that we are safe.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Wellness Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same gentle way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you back, you share with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Wellness Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Wellness Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Wellness Support Circle. Your support helps honest health awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Wellness Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.